everybody, and we're live at the Startup TNT Top 20 Pitch Night for Summit number 6. Let's give it up. This is going to be an exciting night. Who's here to have some fun? Who's here to make some friends? Who's here to see real entrepreneurs build companies before our very eyes? Let's hear it for them. 21 pitches tonight. This is week 178. TNT stands for Thursday Night Tradition because we get together to have fun and make friends and build companies every single Thursdays. Huge thanks to our friends from DriveWise for hosting us this very special location. And we've got an exciting night ahead of us. Listen, to kick things off, I'd like to invite a very special friend of mine. She's a huge friend of the startup community. She's invested with us in every single summit. She's an Edmonton City Councilor. Please welcome Karen Tang to give our land acknowledgement tonight. Just hold it close. Is it not working? Mic check.
It's working? Is it working? Okay. Good evening, everybody. From the Iroquois language and pays tribute to the Michel First Nation in Alberta. And these ward names introduced in the last election, in fact, tell a very rich story and history of the people that have come before us. And they always encourage us to constantly reflect upon our relationship with each other, but also with this land where we live, work, play, and innovate. So I'm really looking forward to hearing all the pitches tonight. And with that, I'm going to turn it over back to you, Zach.
Thank you, Karen. All right, let's just do a quick mic check. How's this mic? This mic sounds good. Karen, how's your mic?
Good. I don't know. Sounds good.
Sounds really good. Okay, listen, Karen, I have this crazy idea.
What's that?
For those of you that don't know, Karen is my wife. And sometimes when I'm at work daydreaming, I think about what an awesome date night would be. And you know what it looks like?
It looks exactly like this.
It looks exactly like this. Two of us on stage speaking to the startup community. How about you just stay up here and co-host with me? What do you say?
What do you guys think?
What do you think? Who wants Councilor Tang?
Okay. All right.
All right, let's roll with it. Listen, what do you see when you look at those logos, Karen? What do you see?
The first word that comes to mind, opportunity.
Opportunity. 50 companies full of opportunity, not just from Edmonton, but from across the entire prairies. They've raised $7 million through events just like this. And you know what I love about it? Every type of startup is up there. Hardware, software, fintech, clean tech, life sciences, pre-revenue, post-revenue, pre-seed and seed stage companies from all walks of life up here, raising money, building their companies, being part of the community. And that's what we're doing tonight. You know, and we can't do it alone.
No, we can't.
No, we can't. We've got amazing partners tonight. And I just want to make a quick note. Those best friends forever partners, we take that very seriously. They become integrated into our team. They're co-hosting with us tonight. Many of their team members invest with us in companies. They help us put on education sessions for the entrepreneurs, part of the program. And, you know, there's a lot of logos on there for a reason, because it takes a lot of people to build a great community.
Absolutely. Just for the record, I have no idea what is happening.
She has not.
I have no script.
She has not been read, but you're doing well. Okay, let's ask you the toughest question of the night then, Karen Tang. Why invest in startups?
Well, for me, I think it's about supporting local, circulating that capital locally and moving us towards that knowledge and innovation-based economy.
Answer the audience. Why invest? Just shout it out. Just shout it out. Growth potential. Driving future innovation. Vibrant community. Make friends. Make money. What? All these amazing reasons. For me, it's about the fact that the entrepreneurs are changing the world right in front of their very eyes. They don't accept it for what it is. They go build the world that we should have. And so I'm really looking hearing about 21 companies doing just that tonight. And so this is how it works for a little bit of background context. This is not simply a pitch night to have some fun. There's actual investments going on behind the scenes, actually in the public on November 17th. Every investor pre-commits $5,000. Karen, you've participated as an investor.
I have, yes.
What do you think of the fact that the investors are committing their money up front? They don't even know who they're going to invest in.
It's a risk, it's a learning, but it's about relationship building and actually opening the potential also of our investor community, which I have always been really excited about as well.
It's a learning. We learn together. We have new investors, seasoned investors, entrepreneurs raising money for the first time. We're learning. We acknowledge that we're not all experts in the room, but we all work together to build a better investment community. And just to emphasize, the investment decision will be made live on November 17th. Outside of this pitch night, due diligence are happening as we speak. Many of our investors are here tonight. Raise your hand if you're an investor. Give yourselves a little round of applause, investors. How about that? Let's hear it for the investors. They're committing money without knowing who it's going into. All right, listen, we got some awesome stats here. But you know what? I don't want to spend too much time. I just want to focus on this one thing. We started this in Edmonton over 3 years ago. We're now across the entire prairies. There are simultaneous pitch events happening in Calgary, Regina,
Winnipeg.
And Winnipeg. Hey, Winnipeg. This is amazing. All right, look, we're almost done here. Just remember, be respectful. We're all here to have fun and make friends first, and then help build these companies. We got 20 pitches. We actually have 21 pitches, 3 minutes each, 2 minutes for questions. Your job in the audience, cheer on our presenters. Give them that. It's a little nerve-wracking being up here. Give them some love. Also, think about how you can help these companies. Money is, of course, one thing they need. They need connection. They need referrals. They need support. So with that amazing energy from the crowd, let's try welcoming our first presenter that isn't really a startup anymore. It's Doug from DriveWise, our host for tonight. He's here to say a few words about DriveWise. Here you go, Doug.
Thank you. Hey, everybody. Yeah, I'm Doug. I'm the VP Marketing at DriveWise, and really excited we're all here tonight. I don't know about you, but I'm really, really interested in hearing these pitches. So we're really pleased to be a host. There's a few things I want to get into, though. I want to let you know a bit about who we are if you haven't heard of us. And in a few minutes, I'm going to show you a video that has a good encapsulation of it. But the important thing is that DriveWise is Edmonton born and raised. Our founders are from here. Fred Coe, Brian Heath decided to get together and build a successful company in their home. And we spent 10 years working really hard to get us to this point. Like many of the folks you're going to hear from tonight, there is right mix of bravery and a little bit crazy, but it works. So I'm going to stop talking. I'm going to let you watch a little video for a couple minutes, and then I'll touch on that.
Welcome to where we invent, where we create, where we are building the future of commercial transportation technology. We are DriveWise. We are driven by a shared vision to create a safe and sustainable commercial vehicle transportation system, zero crashes and zero fatalities. Every day we reach for this goal with our mix of smart infrastructure and connected vehicle solutions that make it easier to navigate today's complex roadways. These smart infrastructure deployments across North America are helping revolutionize commercial vehicle safety and enforcement programs. With a network of 45 state and provincial government partnerships supporting connectivity to over 2.8 million connected trucks, DriveWise technology is delivering solutions to drivers all around North America, where and when they need it most. Our smart roadside platform helps law enforcement agencies identify unsafe or non-compliant trucks, and departments of transportation deploy our smart parking systems to monitor truck parking availability and share it with drivers. The DriveWise pre-clear service enables responsible trucks to skip the lineups of more than 840 weigh station scales and inspection sites across the U.S. and Canada, enabling drivers to deliver our goods quicker. With geofencing technology, DriveWise Safety Plus delivers automated in-cab coaching by proactively alerting drivers to upcoming roadway hazards and safety information, improving highway safety for everyone. And our new e-inspection service, just unveiled and in pilot mode across more than 10 jurisdictions, is modernizing roadside inspections by automating traditional time-consuming manual inspection processes to the benefit of both agencies and carriers. We have built the world's largest vehicle-to-infrastructure ecosystem, where millions of trucks are interconnected to the transportation system around them. This is helping define the future of transportation safety and sustainability as we know it. And it all started right here, with a small team and a big dream. We've come a long way since our humble beginnings as a local startup. This new international headquarters is the culmination of years of hard work, expertise, and drive from a talented and dedicated team built right here in Alberta. In a city known for its innovators, entrepreneurs, and risk takers, we found the talent and the resources in Edmonton that we need to fuel our growth today and into the future. We are proud to call this city our home. It's where we'll continue to build a safer, smarter, more sustainable world. Welcome to DriveWise.
Thanks. So this is where the ping pong table, usually we're playing ping pong over here, but we moved it out tonight. So yeah, the video tells a really good story about kind of what we do and our breadth of our service, but it doesn't tell the whole story. And to steal a phrase, raising a startup takes a village. The reason we're here, we've been successful, is because of the community support in this city and in this province and in this country. I joined the company 10 years ago, and we had, the same month that we launched the DriveWise software product. And I'll tell you, at that point in time, it just seemed impossible. Like, there's just so much to do, right? And that's the thing about being in a startup, is that you have to do everything for the very first time at exactly the same time. And the path ahead of you seems overwhelming. Now, we knew that we had a good future. We knew that we had the right product, but it just seemed overwhelming to get there. And what it took was focusing on, all you can do is focus on the next problem, and then the next problem. And that gets you the next step, to the next problem, to the next step. And it's one step at a time. And I'd like to say that 10 years later, it's different, but it's not. It's still step after step. It's still like, we're not done yet. There's a ton to do, and there's a lot of work, and it's just one step at a time. But that's the fun of it, right? Is the steps. And that's why I'm really excited that we're able to play a host for this community and for you folks tonight, because everybody here that's pitching tonight is that mix of brave and a little bit foolish combined. And it's what makes things really interesting. And I can't understate how much respect I have for that kind of bravery. And so with that in mind, I'm going to stop talking so we can get to the pitches, which I'm really, really excited in hearing tonight. So.
Well, thank you so much, Doug. Let's give for a little background. A couple of the senior DriveWise team members actually participated in our very summit. Doug reached out to me a couple and said, come tour this. We want to host events here. And I said, let's do it, Doug. This is an awesome venue. Much. Now, I think we're ready to get these pitches started. And here to introduce the first entrepreneur, Lisa from Health Cities. Let's hear from Lisa. See if that pink microphone's working, Lisa. Give it a little test. Say hello.
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 It's working.
All right. Lisa, the director of operations at Health Cities. What's the life like for you?
Pretty cool. Health Cities is a connector. We make connections with other organizations, all levels of government and entrepreneurs like we have here tonight. And we basically, our goal is to apply innovation to health to improve health outcomes.
And you guys are running an event during Startup Week in a couple of weeks.
Yes.
Tell us a little bit about that event.
Yes, very excited to host this one. So this event, it's free for everybody. It's called Entrepreneurs in Action, the journey from startup to scale up and beyond. It's a panel presentation. We've got some great panelists. You guys are going to definitely want to come check this out. It's at the TELUS World of Science, and you can find more information at healthcities.ca.
Awesome. And I think we're ready. If the crowd's ready, is the crowd ready for the first pitch? The first Joel pitch. He needs a lot of energy. Tough going first. Who's our first presenter?
Our first presenter tonight is Kevin from Elev.
Let's hear it for Kevin.
Best for first, right? Okay, story time. 4 years ago, I had to do one of the most difficult things any 18-year-old ever has to do, which is to find a place to live. So I was crawling on Facebook Marketplace, trying to find something that was cheap enough for a college student, but not too cheap because I still wanted to have friends over without being too embarrassed. So I thought this struggle was only happening to me, but turns out it's happening to everyone, everywhere in the world, not just in Canada. There's literally a student housing crisis happening right now that nobody's talking about. You see, landlords want to rent to students, but it's difficult. It's hard because it's hard to screen them. It's hard to pick the right one. And because students are new to this whole thing, they don't really know what they're doing. So landlords just say, I'll go for somebody else. They just skip right over students. Now, this is exactly why we're building Elev. Elev is the ecosystem for student housing, or for student living. It's a platform where a student gets matched with a home that has everything that they need, everything that they want at a price they can actually afford. The entire process is re-engineered for simplicity and convenience that these newbies need. And we help students get their lives started by building their credit score simply by making their rent payments on time. And we're making student rentals attractive for landlords too. We're only matching them with students who are qualified, who are verified, who are actually interested in their place. And because the entire process is so simple and easy, it's so much faster and so much easier for landlords to make more money from their rentals from much better tenants. And this rental income is protected with our host guarantee that ensures that the landlords will always get their money on time. And if it really doesn't work out with the students, we'll either find them another one or cover a few months worth of rent. Nobody else in this space is giving students and landlord this much value from the starts, throughout, and all the way to the end of their lease. And this ecosystem that we're building, it's going to keep getting richer, adding more products and services like tenant insurance and background checks that will be as easy as one click, add to your checkouts kind of experience. And the richer the ecosystem, the better the customer experience, and of course, the more revenue streams we get to unlock. Now, we've piloted this here in Edmonton with the 3 schools here and thousands of users, hundreds of listings later. We're doing over 120K in yearly booking value, and we're growing at 29% month over month, even during the low season. Now we feel like we're ready to scale, and we're going to 100x that booking value over the next year by launching in more cities, adding more school partners under our belt. And to do this, we'll be kickstarting a pre-seed round of $750K to fuel this expansion and this growth, and to build a solid product team behind it. Now, our team, we've all gone through this experience as students, so we're intimately familiar with this space. Although we're young, we're mighty, and we've got veterans and investors and leaders at top hospitality companies in our corner. And so today I'm inviting you to join us in our journey to take student living out of the Stone Age and into the next century. Thank you very much.
I think my microphone's not working, but here to ask questions to Kevin is Yasmin from the Accelerate Fund. Take it away, Yasmin.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Fantastic first pitch. The bar is high. So good luck, startups. My first question for you, seems like you've got two sides to your business model. Can you tell us about the revenue streams and revenue model that you're working with on those two sides?
Yeah, 100%. So our primary revenue model is to take a service fee, which is a percentage of the monthly rent. Right now, we're currently only taking 2%, but our target is to raise it up to 6 to 7%, which is still more affordable compared to our closest competitor, Forstay, who's taking up to 10%. Now, like I mentioned, our goal is to continue building this ecosystem with more services and more products that both the students and the landlords need, and we'll continue to unlock new revenue streams every time we add a new service or a new offering.
Awesome. Thank you. And you said you want to expand into 5 new cities. Besides capital, what else do you need to grow into those new areas and jurisdictions?
Yeah, the biggest thing that we need is connections to partners. So mostly schools and student unions, some of which we have already. But if you know anybody in this space, we'd love to have a chat. We'd love an introduction. But we're also looking to working with municipalities because we know that cities want to attract students to come study in their cities, right? And a platform like Elev does just that. It makes the city, whichever city that's we're operating in, a much more attractive place to come live and to come study for students all over the world.
Awesome. I'll check here for time. We're good. Okay. Thanks so much. Give it up for Kevin, guys.
Thank you.
All right. Thanks so much, Kevin. Thanks so much, Yasmin. Yasmin at the Accelerate Fund. She used to work with us at Startup TNT a couple years back. And that was Summit 2. The winner of Summit 2 is now a portfolio company at the Accelerate Fund. Look at that. All right, Lisa, I'm going to welcome you back to the stage. Sorry, we have one less microphone than we thought we had, but that's all right. We'll make do. Lisa,
Okay.
who's up next?
Our next presenters there's 2, Esmet and Azal from Naiad Lab.
Let's hear it, Esmet. Let's hear it for Esmet and Gazal. Here you go. You can take my microphone.
One person,
maybe
it's
just
okay.
one.
Just one. How do I? Oh, got it. Thank you. Alrighty, thank you so much, guys. So, just to review a regular day in a person's life, a regular day, you wake up, brush your teeth, take a shower, go to work. Now, imagine you have a bit of indigestion, chest pain, a little bit of dizzy, I'm out of breath. Oh, well, no problem. Maybe I took the stairs. Now, imagine this turning into a major cardiac event. Now, when I hear that, well, that's a bit dramatic. How often does that happen? How does that really turn into a thing? Well, actually, it's a leading cause of death globally. 1 out of 3 deaths in this whole world globally annually is attributed to some sort of a cardiovascular disease. So what do? What's the solution? Traditionally, we've looked at prevention. Prevention, eat your salads, don't stress, run, do those things. And then there's the intervention side. Intervention, why are you sorry? Intervention, I look at why detect early on something about you and then actually intervene. But the one thing that we keep missing and the one thing that's not exploited fully is the core of all of this, detection. The earlier I detect something wrong with you, the earlier I can intervene, the earlier I can solve the problem. And this is where I come in. So hi, my name is Esmat. My partner, I left her behind me. She's over there. And we are from Naiad Lab. We use AI and machine learning to detect abnormalities and automate diagnoses in medical tests to basically automate diagnoses and get you predictive modeling. Simply put, we create early alerting system for heart attacks. We deliver our product via an API. It's a third-party cloud-based system. Recently, we've had the good luck of closing a deal with a Canadian entity, an IT health entity. They are integrating our solution in the back end, and we are going to be using them as a value add reseller to resell it to their consumer bases. We're also entering the Indian market with 2 other deals, similar deals, to kind of create a partnership. And just this year, we were founded in 2020. We are all graduates of the U of A. We did a lot of our research work, our core research work, and the neural networks and the AI work was from the U of A. So we didn't just pop out of nowhere. Our tech was established this year, though. We were founded in 2020, but in 2022 was the highlight. We finalized the pre-seed round. We went to market. We are still pre-revenue, but we're very proud of actually finding those partnerships, getting those needs identified in the niche market to hold on to. And today, we are in our seed phase one, or you can call it a bridge round that we're trying to raise in order to move our our technology forward for further development. We are also seeking mentorship, especially in the go-to-market. We are not the best probably business people. We were learning, but go-to-market help, mentorship is really critical, and also with accelerators. But more than that, I think I chickened out a couple of times here, but thank you. So I'm here now, and get in touch with us.
Awesome. Thank you so much. So first question, with that bridge round that you're saying, what are the use of proceeds from that capital?
The capital, we're using most of the capital to actually acquire a talent for data science. Data science is going to be a critical thing for our work. And also for the go-to-market, we're going to be investing in the marketing campaign, but also into a marketing person to educate us with the systems and processes on how to identify that niche market that we need to enter into. So you're usually partnership type of stuff.
Okay, very nice. And as much as you've done lots of data research and you're training your algorithms, what's next on the product roadmap after this phase?
After this phase is a bit clinically based. It's more on the 12 lead ECGs and like the stuff that you go to the clinic for. The next step on the product roadmap is for ambulatory work. We're the only ones in the market who've created algorithms to take noise out from patches of ECG that are continuous. To take their motion wonder out of it. And so we want to utilize that and get into that device space. And that would be the product roadmap and hopefully the new market opening.
Perfect. Thank you. Give it up for Naiad Labs. Thank you so much.
You're right on time. All right. Thank you, Esmat. All right. Lisa's back to introduce our third presenter of the night. Who's up next, Lisa?
I'm excited that you keep inviting me back up here.
Just keep coming.
Our next presenter is Sam from Fintrack.
All right, Sam from Fintrack. Let's hear it for him. Yeah. Right is forward. Could be easy.
Who wants to talk about money? Come on, who wants to talk about money? My name is Sam. I'm the founder of Fintrack, and we are in, whoops. It's harder than it looks. We're empowering workers in the restaurant industry to make better decisions with their money. Fintrack was born out of necessity for me. I'm a bartender myself, and I worked for 8 years in the industry, and all I was left with was $86 to my name. However, one day I received some advice from a friend who happened to be a financial planner. And within 9 months, I was able to save enough for a down payment on a home, go on multiple vacations, and I didn't even have to cut out $5 coffees at Starbucks. Now, other people started to notice the changes happening in my life, and they started approaching me for help with their money too. And what I noticed is that managing your money in the service industry is really hard. With easy cash comes easy spending, and it leads us into this cycle of stress and anxiety. And because none of us are really taught about money growing up, it's hard to know where to start. And so that's why we've built Fintrack, which is a mobile app for servers and bartenders who are stressed about money, but want to accomplish their short and long-term financial goals. Unlike budgeting or unlike online research, which is overwhelming, budgeting apps that don't hold you accountable, budgeting apps that don't provide guidance and financial planners that don't hold you accountable, Fintrack is the only tool you need to learn, build, and actually follow a complete plan for your money. Fintrack is your guide to building wealth, your tool for enjoying your money, and your conscience when you veer off track. To date, we've done $500 in user sales. We've developed our product roadmap. We've partnered with Thor Financial. We've integrated over 12,000 financial institutions into our platform. And we're currently in progress of a white labeling partnership with Today Card, who has 100,000 users and is heavily expanding into the US. That's why we're targeting the 12 million food and accommodation workers in US and Canada. And at $4 a month, we're looking at a market opportunity of $576 million. Now, we also plan on targeting the financial services space and the post-secondary education However, we are focusing for the time being on food and accommodation. My name's Sam. I'm the sole founder of Fintrack, and I've got a passion for personal finance and entrepreneurship. And I'm surrounded by an incredible team of advisors and mentors who've helped shape Fintrack into what it is today. In the long run, we're looking to disrupt financial services with an AI-empowered financial planning app. So users can make the right decisions for their money, get the right advice, and get the right products to meet their goals. That's why we're looking for a $250,000 seed pre-seed round to invest in building a team, integrating with Today Card, and building out our financial insights platform. Thank you very much.
I'll give it back to Yasmin to ask the questions.
Thank you. Awesome. Great pitch today.
Thank you.
Give us the good stuff. What's your go-to-market strategy?
Absolutely. Why don't we keep going here? So we are focusing on three avenues. So we're going to continue investing in our partnerships and growing our partnerships within the hospitality industry, financial services, and post-secondary education. We are planning on creating educational and entertaining content to make money simple and digestible. And we are focusing on incentive-driven referral programs to grow through word of mouth.
Awesome. And what does the integration with Today Card mean for your growth and future revenue streams, but also customer acquisitions?
Sure. Do you want me to show you? So Today Card currently has 100,000 users, and we're estimating a 30% conversion rate of those users at $4 a month. From that, we expect to earn $1.8 million a year in revenue. However, like I said, they're heavily expanding into the US. So within 3 years, we intend to earn $13.2 million in revenue.
I feel like I have no more questions. It's all on a slide there. So good job. Everyone get it
Thank
up.
you.
Let's hear it for him. Well played, Sam. Well played. Nice presentation. Got the backup slides coming in clutch. All right, Lisa, here to introduce one more presenter.
Our next presenter is John from BioStream Diagnostics.
John, ready to take it away?
Ready to go. So thanks. I'm John Murphy, the CEO of BioStream. And for the last 10 years, I've been doing sensors. And when COVID hit, I sent everybody home. And that was kind of bad enough, but man, people had it really tough. And it was because diagnostic testing was inadequate. So I started BioStream, and I wanted to revolutionize, and I mean really rethink how diagnostic testing was done. So we went and talked to the physicians, we talked to the market, and they said, yeah, there's a need for point of care, but it's got to be, your test has got to be PCR level accurate. It's got to be fast, and the consumable better be cheap, and the reader better be really low cost as well. And that all became possible when we developed a new type of transistor. There's an OECT transistor, and it amplifies a small change in voltage. And when we did that, what we can now do to our transistor is we can add antibodies, and the antibodies bind to a virus, and then it changes the voltage when we can recognize that, so we can detect diseases, inflammation, and infections. And it works, we know, because we got the data to back it up. And the US government says, "Atta go, boys, you're doing great, but can you do 4 diseases at one time?" So we said, sure, but then we had to invent a multiplex transistor, which we did. Testing's going just fantastic. But then we actually took our reader and we added Bluetooth so that all the data from any test in the world comes up to our cloud servers. And now that we've got it in the cloud, we can do analytics. So where are we at? Right now, we're engaging with labs. We want to start projects, and we're working with researchers like at the University of Cambridge. The guy there, George, he invented OECT technology 25 years ago. So we sent him our product. We only have 6, and we sent him one. He says, man, this is fantastic stuff. It's very valuable. Mayo Clinic saying, wow, funguses, this is a complete game changer. Who knew? So we can add a new test to our platform in 8 weeks. So we're focusing on diabetes and respiratory diseases, and our other partners they're picking up things different, all kinds of applications. Oops. Now we make money every time we sell one of our consumables or a reader. We're focusing right now on labs and researchers because that's non-FDA money, so we can get sustainable revenue going. But here's the trick. Our test manufacturers, for every test that goes through FDA, we make 10 million bucks. We've got a team that can put this together. I've started and ran tech companies with successful exits. Our CEO, Shiraz, he's got University of Alberta, Harvard, oncology in the UK. We've got Lee, software, electronics. I'll just talk about Al, the former president of NASDAQ. Man, this guy is the former director of World Economic Forum. So we can get this done, but we do need help. So if you can help us find partners, applications, or money, we'd just love to hear from you.
Phone's not on. There's questions coming for you. Yasmin here. Final set of questions for John. Take it away.
Awesome. Thank you. Great presentation, John. First question for you. Is your device in market right now? And what are you currently testing on it?
So right now we built the device. We've got 6 of them. So when you say in market, we've got it in the hands of just a few people, and we're testing COVID and C-reactive protein.
Okay, perfect. And as an investor, I love the words. It said multiple monetization paths with cloud data. Tell us more about that.
Yeah, well, so I've been running a machine learning company for the last decade as well, StreamML. So I really understand how to monetize data once it's in the cloud. So we can take this, we have data for researchers, but also data, we have a mobile app too, right? So data that you and I would want to care about is, what is our test results? That's what you want to see. And the cloud can serve that up. But now we can tell you, hey, where were you when you had that test? What were the results of that? Would you like us to pop up a little and tell you where the therapeutic for that is at Walmart 2 blocks down? This is the kind of stuff we can do. So we have lots of ways to monetize this over and above the hardware.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Give it up for John, everyone. Thank you.
Yeah, let's hear it for our first 4 presenters. Awesome finish there, John. Let's hear it for Yasmin doing Q&A. Let's hear it for Lisa doing the co-hosting and the introductions. And actually, I'm pretty happy to share that Karen Tang has a beautiful startup TNT hat.
Believe it or not, this is my very first TNT hat.
Very first hat.
I might steal it from you, Zach.
Okay, Karen, which one of our lovely sponsors is going to join us on stage to help introduce?
Why don't you let me do that?
Yeah, okay, that sounds good.
All right. Well, I have the great pleasure of introducing our next guest to introduce the next 4 companies, Ryan O'Shaughnessy from CBRE. Hi, Ryan.
Hold for applause. Thank you, guys. Very excited to be here.
Ryan, what's your role at CBRE?
So my role at CBRE is I help our clients find and locate and negotiate office space. So helping them find the right office space for their business.
Yeah, that sounds important. What would you say is one of the most common mistakes that we make when we are searching for new office spaces?
Yeah, I think it's important to recognize that every company, their motivations are going to be different. So a number of things can be overlooked. It's not necessarily just about your 4 walls, can you house your employees in here? But there's a number of factors that could be overlooked. So first and foremost, when you sign a lease, you're entering into a relationship. You want to make sure you have a good partner on that other end. So is your landlord reasonable? And I think for companies in this crowd, which is also going to be important, is growth considerations. So finding that space that allows for flexibility in terms of, can you sign a shorter term lease, or maybe can you grow within the building over time? So I think that's pretty relevant for our groups here.
Ryan sounds pretty knowledgeable. Where can we find you if people want to connect with you?
Yeah, you can find me on LinkedIn, Ryan O'Shaughnessy, or it's probably easy enough to find me if you look up Ryan CBRE Edmonton. I'm the only Ryan at our office, so I should come up there. Always happy to chat with you guys. If you want to talk the market, happy to grab a coffee and touch base.
And finally, are you ready to introduce our next company?
Oh, I'm jazzed.
All right,
Let's do it.
Let's go.
I would like to welcome up Mr. Jackson Payne of Deeleeo.
Hello, thank you. Meet Phil, a local coffee roaster who almost lost his business when the pandemic hit. Why? Because most of his customers started ordering from Amazon. Phil just couldn't compete with Amazon's delivery to local customers until now. My name is Jackson Payne. I'm the founder of Deeleeo and a former Canadian Olympic athlete. Phil is just one of our 50 customers that we help today, and we are generating over $1 million in annual revenue this year. And we are on track to do $10 million in annual revenue next year. In North America alone, there are 34 million small businesses like Phil that need our help. We currently help these businesses that you shop at, including flower shops, coffee roasters, sporting goods stores, clothing retailers, furniture retailers, etc. Get their products delivered the same day. No matter the size or shape of the item, we are reliable and affordable. We all want to support local, but let's face it, sometimes it's easier not to. We are changing that. With literally a click of a button, local businesses can use Deeleeo and now compete with platforms like Amazon. We make money on every delivery completed. This year, we're on pace to do $1 million in annual revenue. Next year, with the funding we are currently raising today, we are on track to do $10 million in revenue next year. So join us as we help the 34 million businesses like Phil out there in the world today. Thank you.
All right. Nicely done. Nicely done. And here to facilitate the questions is one of our longtime investors joining us for his third summit already, Kyle Conserata from Keller Construction.
Thank you. Great job. So how did you find yourself in this place?
Finding myself starting
In this
Deeleeo?
space, sorry.
In this space?
Yeah, exactly.
Well, it was in 2019, I actually switched my schooling to business. I was originally wanting to become a doctor. And as soon as I took my first business class, I said, this is exactly where I want to be. And I was doing similar to another story over here about Kijiji and Facebook Marketplace. I just felt a pain there. I just had the experience, and originally we started developing an app that did consumer to consumer, Kijiji on wheels type of thing. As soon as we hit the market, we realized an even bigger need. This was pre-pandemic that we were building this software, and I've just loved it.
So 5 years in the future, you're absolutely crushing it. What does it look like to you?
What does it look like to us? Tens of thousands of local delivery agents that are a massive network around Canada and the US. Tens of thousands of local businesses being helped and competing against large major retailers.
Awesome. Sounds awesome. Good job.
Thank you.
Okay, and now I would love to ask Alex Neumeyer of Canadian Filaments Incorporated to come up.
All right, we'll get you set up, Alex.
All right. Hi, everyone. Hi, everyone. My name is Alex, and I'm the CEO and founder of CanadianFilaments.ca, Alberta's first manufacturer of 3D printing filaments. I got my start in 3D printing 10 years ago, and When I was 19 years old, I started my own 3D printing on demand company. And after 3 years working in the industry, I kept on running into the same problem. Like the ink for a printer, 3D printing filament is a consumable, and almost all of it was being manufactured overseas. Finding reliable and quality suppliers was difficult, and the combination of overseas shipping with import fees were expensive, and they were only getting worse due to COVID. So I asked myself, would it be possible to manufacture filament locally for cheaper than what it's actually cost to import it? And it turns out it was. I am now manufacturing filament locally and with better sustainability practices, higher quality control, and faster on-demand manufacturing. Customers love buying locally made, especially when you're able to provide them the same exact price that they were paying before. I'm currently manufacturing a spool of filament for $11 and one every 5.5 minutes. And I sell them for between $25 to $29 at a 60, 80% profit margin. Growing at around 30% per year, 3D printing is estimated to be worth a $63 billion industry by 2026. And Amazon alone will sell $110 million worth of filament this year. My go-to-market strategy is to make it as easy as possible for customers to buy, to switch, to start using my filament. I'm doing this by putting my filament in places where customers are already buying. I currently have 4 resellers across Canada, and I'm about to launch on Amazon.ca, Amazon.com, and Walmart.ca at the end of this month. It's currently raised a $160,000 seed round and just finished up my first financial year with $90,000 in revenue and 17 different products released. I also built traction by winning the Youth Entrepreneurship in 2021 and also by building a social media following of 24,000 followers. I'm currently looking to raise $250,000 Series A funding as I plan to scale my business faster and new heights. This funding will go towards new equipment that can help make my filament even better and also decrease the cost of manufacturing down to $8 per spool. It will also allow me to make a wide range of filaments and reach a broader audience. So, thank you very much for your time tonight. And if you have any other questions, please reach out to me.
Great job. So we met earlier actually at a startup TNT event a few weeks ago, and I was really impressed with your initiative and your entrepreneurial spirit to do something like this. So one of my questions was going to be, how did you discover this problem? But you answered that. So what gave you that drive to solve the problem, to take it a step farther and actually find a solution?
So actually, it was mostly because when I was running my 3D printing on demand company, I was trying to buy filament to just operate my company. And people were like, oh, sorry, we're sold out. We can't get anything from China for 2 weeks. And I was like, well, how am I supposed to run my company? I could do this better. You know, I could make this locally, I bet. And that's kind of what drove me to continue on. And also just my sheer passion for 3D printing is dedicated almost half my life to it at this point. So
So obviously you're very, very passionate, which is really important in this startup world. What's your exit strategy, or where do you see yourself in 5, 10 years? Are you going to grow this into, you know, the North American leading manufacturer of filament, or what are your thoughts?
yeah, so ideally, I'd love to be the #1 supplier of filaments in Canada, if not North America, by just setting up multiple lines and just having such a high volume of manufacturing that it just doesn't even make sense to order from China, because why would you ship it from overseas when I can do it better, faster, and cheaper?
Yeah, I definitely think your timing is perfect with onshoring and 3D printing taking off. So yeah, I think you're really going to crush it. Great job.
Awesome. Thank you very much.
Okay, I'd like to please welcome up the Good Goods Company, and correct me if I say this incorrectly, Ega Wada Plita of the Good Goods Company.
So quicker. That was close, but I get that my entire life. So Vida is the last name. So yeah, I'm Aga and I'm one of the co-founders of Good Goods Company. Good Goods is here to create meaningful change in consumerism by supporting the communities that connect with purpose-driven brands. What is a purpose-driven brand? For us, it's a small business that transcends just product development. They typically have greener operations, positive societal impact, and improved welfare embedded in their mission statements. Traditional wholesale can't and doesn't support these brands and the retailers that want to work with them. They're typically limited in visibility, they have limited resourcing, limited connections, and limited impact. So what we've created is a full service platform that connects these purpose-driven brands directly to boutique and independent retailers. So vendors get to create product, optimize resources, and focus on brand purpose, while retailers have lower risk, get access to vetted product, and benefit from consolidated workflow. So what we've created is a business-to-business platform that navigates all of the B2B logistics from retailer acquisition to onboarding to expansion, product warehousing, and fulfillment and delivery. So this allows us to support independent local boutique retailers in acquiring really good products, while also supporting the purpose-driven brands with representation and allowing them to have an increased access to market share without increasing their resourcing. Why does this matter? $288 billion in 2020 was put into sustainable products investment. 52% of Canadian consumers are interested in these brands, and $160 billion is being spent on purpose-driven brands. Our B2B comparables, so this is a market analysis of currently existing companies in this space. The biggest takeaway from here is the percentage is applied to vendors only, while they still have to do all of the work. So drop shipping, delivery, fulfillment. The other piece is 2 of them are only consumer facing, while 1 is retailer. So the good approach. Why are vendors and retailers interested in what we have to offer? From a retailer perspective, we provide no minimums. From a vendor perspective, we still honor their minimum order quantity. Ease of use, so it's 1 delivery, 1 invoice, 1 point of contact. So you're not dealing with hundreds of invoices and hundreds of products and hundreds of small businesses from a retailer perspective. Vendor perspective, we don't change their workflow. We maintain what they do right now, status quo, simple transition. We create a circular economy, so product waste is reduced, i.e. there's less money being lost. And from a vendor perspective, we provide data to them to understand inventory and product fulfillment. And the last bit is we split the fee. Right now, small businesses are getting dinged, but they still have to do all the work. So we figured both retailer and vendor benefit. So why shouldn't they both kind of pay into it? So an investment in Good Goods companies, an investment in our Canadian small business economy, and it's impacting your current and future lifestyle. Financially speaking, we're looking for 12 months of financing to develop the platform that can further support our retailers and vendors. We're looking for vendor expansion, so brand offerings and inventory from across Canada. And we want to recruit more retailers and partnerships across Canada. And with that, I'll leave you with this. The brands that will thrive in the coming years are the ones that have purpose beyond profit. Thank you.
Great job. So what's the origin story of this company? How did you and your co-founder meet?
So Nina in the crowd. So her and I are actually best friends. So we started like cycling together, and one day we did a passion project where we created Edmonton's first refill market at our market upstairs in like 2019. We wanted to do one in 2020. COVID hit, couldn't do it. So her and I got together and created this platform from a retailer perspective, actually. And we saw this gap between retailers and vendors that they couldn't find a place to meet in the middle because we were having these struggles. So we decided that a B2B platform was a very natural fit for us.
And where do you see yourself? I'm going to repeat myself from the previous questions, but 5, 10 years, what's your vision for this company? And I really love what you're doing. It's a great model.
Well, yeah, thank you. Ideally, our main revenue stream is the B2B platform. So we're helping small business brands that are purpose-driven from across Canada and linking them to retailers across Canada. And then our secondary streams are B2C. So we do also have an online platform where we sell to consumers, because if you're using product, you kind of, gain more demand and more momentum. And then we really want to fulfill community initiatives. So right now we have a Ride Good program. It's cycling oriented. We kind of get these products into your hands while also biking around the city and like drinking beer and having a good time. So ideally in 5 to 10, 15 years, we have a really strong B2B platform and can use all of our other connections for that circular economy piece.
Awesome. Great. Yeah, I think you're going to be very successful.
Thank you. Thank you.
Congratulations, Aga. Ryan, sorry, before we do the next speaker, there's a lot of people standing, and I think we can squeeze more people in sitting if everyone just tries to scooch over 3 to 5 feet. We can probably make room for like 10 to 20 more people. How far can you scooch? How far can you scooch? We have a lot of people standing. If you like standing, feel free to stand, but they're going to make space for you. We can get more people up there. We're only not even halfway yet through all the presenters. So get comfortable, get cozy. Pizza's coming later. All right.
Okay.
All right. Yeah, we got to calm the audience back down now. All right.
Okay, everyone, I'm going to introduce our next presenter. I know we're exciting from the scooching, but I'm going to ask everyone just to quiet down. For 1 second here, we got Eric Lundgren of Polyseam.
All right. Hello, everyone. I'm the founder of Polyseam, where we're building the future of data management technology. Large organizations of central IT teams that are responsible for data and analytics. They act as gatekeepers to your organization's data. This causes bottlenecks, though, as they cope with the demand from multiple streams. So you have business units from marketing to finance that are looking to get in line for development. And they are also having to deal with complex IT processes that are difficult to manage. So this causes a real slowdown in getting insights from data. And if they want to do that, then they're going to have to run through a lot of processes. So what if instead they could produce data themselves and serve it as a product to others in the organization? This peer-to-peer, decentralized and self-serve model called the data mesh, it enables the removal of those centralized data management bottlenecks. So think of it like this, like no longer does everyone listen to the CBC broadcasts for their source of news. There's lots of small producers out there providing relevant content to their audience that they serve directly via social media. So data mesh is really the similar concept, but applied to data. And with that, there is, however, a fundamental shift in technology that's required. So Polyseam is building CNDI or Candy, which is a toolkit to manage your data mesh. Candy consists of 2 components, run and register, which enable you to build your data products and connect them to an audience. Polyseam is serving is in the $98 data analytics space. We're focused on the mid to large size organizations in North America, which is an $8 billion market. And in Q3, what we've done is we've launched Run as an open source platform people can try, and we raised our initial round of pre-seed funding. To close out the year, we're looking to really to grow our waitlist for Candy Register and release that to market. Polyseam is offering the most flexibility when it comes to implementing your data stack. And leveraging cutting edge technology, we are also the fastest in terms of getting time to your insights from data. We have an exciting product and the right team to drive it forward. We are looking for, we have extensive experience in open source and software development, and we are, and myself, I have personal experience with some of the pains of centralized data management throughout a number of industries. We're looking to follow on our pre-seed funding to accelerate our path to achieve product market fit. Thank you very much, everyone.
All right, so you and your founders, I saw the pitch deck earlier, very, very smart, accomplished people. How did you guys come together and decide to tackle this problem?
Oh, yeah, so we actually, I actually did not know my my CTO now. He's coming from New Brunswick, and I was looking for people who would help out, who would be interested in the concept. And yeah, we just connected on various Slack groups yeah, that's how we did it, so.
Have you been looking to tackle this problem for a while now, or was it just kind of, you had a eureka moment and?
Yeah, we've really had a shift in our focus from where we were before. So that materialized in kind of the beginning of the year as a previous organization. And now we're looking to head on tackle data mesh problem. So
cool. Yeah, it's a great product. And I reached out to some people in the industry, and when I mentioned what you guys are doing, their eyes just kind of lit up. So I think you're onto something.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Okay, amazing. Well, can we please give it another round of applause for Deeleeo, Good Goods, Canadian Filaments, Polyseam, as well as our friends Ryan and Kyle for facilitating that last round. Good job. Okay, well, I now have the distinct pleasure of introducing Justin from KRP to introduce our next cohort of companies. And just on a personal note, I also just want to say this is actually the first time seeing Justin in person. And Justin is a very important person in our lives because he's our accountant. So Justin, what is your favorite part about being an accountant?
Oh, wow. There's so many to choose from, I guess. I mean, money, power, women. It's no, but to be fair, accounting is not that bad. It's we work with a lot of startups. We work with a lot of companies of all sizes, mature, and it's great to see entrepreneurs developing their businesses, growing, coming up with ideas. Some of them are hits, some of them are massive misses, but all of them are fun to work with.
Absolutely. And what's the typical service offerings you provide to grow companies like the ones pitching here tonight?
Yeah, so for a startup company, we can provide the very basic services, financial statements and tax returns. Everybody has to do that. But as well, we're working with a company, actually, we were talking with them earlier this week. Startup company just found a partner in the United States. So we're working with them to develop licensing agreements, getting them structured properly because they're cross-border. So there can be negative tax consequences, SNR and ED that comes along with that as well. So a lot of things that we can do. We really tailor it to the client depending on the situation.
Amazing. And are you ready to introduce our next companies?
Yeah, absolutely. So the next presenter is Hillary from Kidney-Chek.
Testing, we're good. Nice to see everyone out tonight. I'm Hillary, and I'm one of the co-founders of Kidney-Chek. And we are on a mission to help pets live longer, healthier lives. This is Scout, and unfortunately, Scout died of kidney disease. It wasn't until a week before he passed that his pet owner actually saw any changes in his behavior. So as a pet owner, it's really hard to tell if your animal is truly healthy because cats and dogs are notoriously good at hiding signs of illness and pain. So 1 in 3 cats will get kidney disease in their lifetime and 1 in 10 dogs, which is a huge amount. So what our solution is a $30 test that allows you to screen in between your vet visits to monitor your pet's kidney health at home. And all it takes is 2 minutes and a little bit of saliva. So the way that you use our product is you simply rub it on the animal's gums to collect a little bit of saliva, wait 2 minutes, and then you interpret the color shift to determine how your pet's kidneys are functioning. So we launched our product into the market earlier this year, January, and we're looking to target the market in Canada, which is 16 million annually and scales up to 25 billion globally. So currently our revenue generation is through selling to vet clinics, through wholesalers, B2B, as well as direct to consumer, which we launched mid-year. So some of the traction that we're really excited about is some of the revenue that we've received year to date, over $10,000. We have 17 retail locations that are ready to start selling our product. So we did a little bit of a packaging redesigned after working with the vets to have a more consumer facing product. And that's going to be ready next week. So we're really excited about that. And we're also talking with more than 5 distributors now who are going to help us scale across Canada, getting into retail stores as well as vet clinics. So Kidney-Chek stands out. We're the only offering that is low cost as well as early detection. So IDEXX and Antech are the higher cost diagnostic platforms that vets use. And that's ultimately the diagnostic tool that would be used after our screening test catches a high marker. The other products in the market are more urine based. And unfortunately that catches kidney disease much later in the progression. So we have a very unique product that is currently patent pending. So our team consists of myself and my co-founder, Matt, and we've worked with a number of mentors who are experienced in the vet and business industry that have been invaluable. And we're currently looking to raise $600,000. We're planning to launch into retail stores in January. And so the sales and marketing required to do so, half of the raise would go to that. And the remainder would be on future R&D, as well as scaling up manufacturing equipment to do that. So I'd like to invite you to achieve a higher quality of care for our pets. Thank you.
Awesome. Great job, Hillary. And next, to facilitate the next round of questions is one of our longtime investors, Carrie Russell, who I had first met in the very first summit back in 2020. And since then, he has invested in every single Edmonton summit. So give it up for Carrie.
Thank you. So Hillary, your mentioned that you have some online sales to consumers. And have you had any feedback from your customers? How does that going for them, or what are the kind of feedback are you getting on that?
Yeah, so we've had some really good feedback. When we launched to the vets, it was January of this year. And with the pandemic, vets were just crazy busy. So that's kind of why we pivoted to moving direct to consumer partway through the year. It was really helpful just to get feedback and kind of validation that pet owners are able to use the product at home and get really good results. And there's actually been a number of pet owners who have had their animal flag high and gone into the vet and actually had an early diagnosis of kidney disease, which you can then get your pet on a treatment plan. So it's been really great validation for us.
So you've been operating or in the sales part of the business for how long now?
Since January.
Since January.
Yeah.
Okay. So if you can look down the road about a year and a half, where do you see your company being at that point in time?
Well, we are excited to get into retail stores. There's been a lot of interest from distributors because it is a really unique product for the at-home pet care space. So ideally in the next year, we'll have we've kind of tested the market, but now we'll actually have the support and the sales to help us span across Canada and get into more homes to help pets.
Excellent. So, thank you.
Thank you.
And Justin, come on up for the next company.
All right. Next is Jennifer from JustCook. You hear that?
Hello, everyone. My name is Jennifer Keith. I am CEO and one of the co-founders of JustCook. And JustCook wants to become the largest restaurant community in the world. And how we're going to do that is to tackle a very difficult problem in the restaurant industry today. It is harder than ever to actually launch and scale and run restaurant businesses. It takes a ton of money, a ton of time, and a lot of business acumen that a lot of the chefs that really have the want to open these restaurants that they just don't have. So what we do at JustCook is we take current and existing, current or new restaurant spaces, and we convert them into flexible turnkey rentals. We work directly with developers who want to activate their space in order to connect them to a curated line of clients that are restaurant businesses that are interested in actually using those spaces. The food market is already a very large industry and it's growing at 20% per year. So tons of growth potential. We already saw over the last many years with ghost kitchen businesses cropping up that there are demands for this type of different restaurant business model to exist out there. These ghost kitchens basically provide dark sites that allow restaurant brands to launch in their kitchens and operate and deliver food on third-party delivery apps. However, where ghost kitchens are failing their clients because they're in congested third-party apps and they're just virtual brands, JustCook is succeeding. So we provide the ability for these brands to be visible, to have a location, to tell their story, to actually have customer interaction and build customer loyalty. How we do that is through two real estate strategies. First is larger format experiential markets that actually host a number of different kitchens, a number of different restaurants, and allow for multi-concept ordering from customers. The other real estate strategy we have is through outposts. So single format, smaller restaurants, spaces that can really be built anywhere in any community. We've built out our own digital platform, a full end-to-end restaurant management system that basically will power every single restaurant space that we own. And we're building out the rental platform that will allow our clients to actually search and get into our spaces as we grow. We've built our first location, Edmonton's first food hall in the heart of downtown Edmonton, just steps away from the Rogers Arena. And in this location, we have 4 standardized kitchens with a great aesthetic and have generated over $1 million in revenue so far in the first 10 months of our operation. So through this, we've actually just achieved profitability last month. I know that scary P word, but with our business clients there, we have currently 4. They've have over 6 different concepts in that market format. And just with a bit of word of mouth advertising and some free advertising, we've generated over 150 new business leads and clients that are interested in our model. Our way of making money is pretty simple. There's threefold. First, there's a base rent fee that each of the clients pay on the monthly basis. We also participate in a revenue share with them. And for any of our market locations, we take all events, entertainment, and bar revenue. Our projections, we have already, we're projecting a profit for their first year of operation. And with our second and third location, we're going to be 4xing our revenue. We're currently raising a $2 million seed round, and we've already raised $560,000 in investment. And with that money, what we're going to do is take it immediately to Station Park, which is going to be our second location. It's located at Gateway Boulevard and White Avenue. That location takes about $1.5 million to build. We've actually already secured $1 million in investment for that location specifically. So we just need to come in with our third of $500,000. Once that location is built, it'll be up and running and generating about $7 million in annual revenue. And it'll be open June of 2023. So we are already on track. It's being built. We have a very small focused team and a great board of advisors and mentors that are helping us, including the CEO of former CEO of Pita Pit, the COO of DriveWise, and we are on our way to making real change in the industry. So if you're interested in investing, please contact us. Don't hesitate. And thank you so much.
Thanks, Jennifer.
Thank you.
Okay, I was watching TV the other day and I was watching Kitchen Nightmares,
Oh, yeah.
but I never want to meet Gordon Ramsay. So before I start my new restaurant, like, can you help me?
To meet Gordon Ramsay?
Not to meet.
To not meet Gordon Ramsay. Okay, so I see what you're saying. Absolutely. So I think that's another component of our business and something that we want to grow. We're not only going to be providing that infrastructure for restaurateurs to start, but we want to provide extraneous services as well. Consulting, feedback. We've thought about a JustCook University to basically help build their business acumen and help them build successful businesses that way.
Excellent. So I've been to your restaurant on 5th Street.
That's great.
Very good.
Thank you.
And your new restaurant is in Sherwood Park, did you say?
It's Station Park. It's located at White Avenue and Gateway Boulevard.
And is that the same format? You have multiple kitchens in one restaurant as well?
Yeah, great question. So it is a market format. We're actually going to occupy 2 of the floors of the standalone building in that shipping container park. It's going to be 8,000 square feet. And so it'll be 2 floors of food and entertainment on those 2 floors.
Okay, so you're helping people start their business, and you're helping people that have space to find people to fill them.
That's correct.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
All right, up next is Eva from Future City.
Good evening, everyone. How's everyone tonight? Great. So I'm Eva, and I'm going to talk to you about the skill gaps. Did you know that there are 85 million jobs that could go unfilled by 2030 because there's not enough skilled people in the world to take them? And that's going to have an impact on GDP and widening the skill gap. So in North America, that's going to impact 130,000 small businesses. And yet there are 20 million college students and 15 million skilled newcomers looking for work. But small businesses have limited resources to bridge the skill gap, even though they've spent 1/3 of the 92 billion spent on training last 2 years in North America. Half of them still can't find qualified new hires. And it costs them 2 times more to upskill as compared to corporates. So how this works is we use our real-time community virtual network to bridge skill gaps by matching job seekers to job posts and to course posts in real time, all in one go. And so the employers save costs and overhead by doing this to find qualified candidates that can hit the road running and basically fill their jobs for entry and mid-level. How this works: employers post jobs with skill demands. Educators post courses to address those skill demands. Job seeker posts their profiles, no resumes needed, and they get upskilled and they land that job. So I'm a serial entrepreneur, and I bring startup and C-suite experience across industry sectors. And on our talented team, we have educator, artificial intelligence, HR, and our advisors bring international marketing experience. It's a huge market size, but we've combined and funneled down higher learning and talent recruitment to a global TAM market size of 153 billion, North American size of 50 billion, and 5 billion addressable market. Our target will be 100 million by end of year 5. So our closest competition is really an indirect competition, LinkedIn, even though they don't do the matching the same way that we do. Ours is the real-time 3-way match, all in one go. And we're open to all educators and all recruiters. We build on the community network effects for our B2B customers of employers and educators, and we engage job seekers through our client ambassadors, online content, social channels, and our B2B virtual meetups. Our milestones: as a pre-revenue company, we've raised 300,000 in non-dilutive funding. We have patents pending that we're commercializing. We have Canadian and US trademarks for services and goods, and we launched our core project. Our SaaS model is multi-sided with subscriptions for three different user types with free and paid tiers. And our plan is to grow to 100 million end of year 5 with strategic partners. Our ask is 600,000 to grow our team, products, and partnerships and attain end of year 5, 100x for your investment. So join us in creating a better world by bridging skill gaps, one skill gap at a time, to future ready your workforce. Thank you. Join us.
Hi, Eva.
Hi.
So I just want to understand exactly how your businesses work. First of all, your it's basically an application that does most of the interaction. What stage is your application at? Like, are you have customers now? You're still in the development stage, or where are you at with that?
We've launched our core project, which is starting to commercialize now. We've got test users on our site. And basically, we're starting to bring on our first commercial customers paying, even though we're pre-revenue.
Okay, so I'm just trying to understand, especially there's a lot of employment services or applications. What your secret sauce is to allow you to stand out from the and you've got 3 parties. You have to have them all come together at the same time for success, or are you training, helping your employers find ways to upgrade their existing employees, or how does that work?
Okay, so in the current marketplace for large corporations like PwC, they have in-house in-skilling, upskilling, and they advance their internal hires. For small business, they don't have that. And so what we do is, instead of, we're not a recruiting agency. What we do is we help employers and recruiters save money in the pre-screening and the matching. So our artificial intelligence and our algorithms matches all 3 at the same time. So if you post the job and you say, I need these skill demands, then what happens is that it matches itself to the best fit job seeker. And then the job pops up for the job seeker. And then they see the skills that are needed for the job and the courses they need to take to get that job. So this is a way to upskill the job seeker before they even apply for the job. So what this does, and the value prop there is, I had one colleague that put an ad in LinkedIn. She got 100 applications for a marketing assistant. None of them fit. And she said to me, when is your application going to be launched? And I said, soon. So we've just launched it, and I welcome you to all try it. There's a free tier that you can try. And what we do is we help you to find pre-qualified candidates without having to go through hundreds of applications.
Excellent. Thanks, Eva.
You're welcome.
Next up is Donna from GLC Medical.
Hello, everyone. I'd like to introduce you to the GLCM Medical biosensor platform. So what we've developed is a easy to use, portable, highly accurate, sensitive, and digital diagnostic platform for pathogens. This provides results in under 1 minute, and it can be easily deployed to any community around the globe. Our product development processes, intellectual property has been filed, and manufacturing processes are complete. This is breakthrough technology in our method of detection that no one has achieved over decades of research. This is a glance at our technical experts, but we have many experts in electrochemistry and biosensor work, antibody expertise, mass manufacturing, commercialization, business management, of course, regulatory processes, and software development. We're a strong team. The validation institutes that have supported us through testing and through validation of our product include the University of Alberta, Li Ka-shing Institute of Virology, and the University of Sherbrooke in Quebec, to name a few. We have many competitive advantages, but I'll just name the top 4. It's a platform, so it's easily adaptable or retooled for multiple pathogens. Digital data capture or predictive software. Precise results in under 1 minute. It's the fastest test in the world. And non-invasive collection methods. So it's a saliva test. So the sampling comes from under your tongue. Nothing goes up your nose. It's a 4-step biosensor test. Collect the saliva, pipette it or drop it onto the sensor, run your test, and within 60 seconds or less, you have a result. We know our global medical diagnostic landscape and opportunity, growing to $93 billion by 2030, with an annual growth rate of about 11%. This is a huge opportunity for us. And this will be our go-to-market entries through the medical space, but this diagnostic tool can be used in multiple industries. Our business model is to create a high-value product, put IP around it, license and sell the technology, reward our investors, and then rinse and repeat. Why now do we need this technology? Well, the pandemic has taught us many things, including our competitive landscape and that rapid tests don't work. Low efficacy, very low accuracy. So what we need is a precise test that delivers fast results in under 1 minute. This will enable early detection to manage, treat, and stop the spread of a virus. We need digital reading or predictive software so that we know what the virus is doing, the hotspots, and how we can manage it better. We need simple patient-friendly testing so that people test more and we know more. And low infrastructure. It needs to be a handheld unit that can go everywhere and anywhere, that doesn't require a large lab footprint, heavy equipment, or expensive equipment. So this is what GLCM has developed. And our goal in funding is to advance this further down our pathway towards commercialization. What started as a COVID test has evolved into a game-changing, world-changing medical diagnostic device. Thank you.
Thanks, Donna. So you have a real product
Mhm.
that's developed that works.
Correct.
And so I actually know a lot more about testing and viruses than I'd like to know. Would anybody else agree with me there? Maybe you could give us just a very quick thing. If let's say your product, you started with COVID-19 as the pathogen that you're testing for, right?
Correct.
So if I was to come somewhere to get a test, what would happen very quickly?
Well, actually, it's great that you asked that question because our technical lead has brought the kit with us. So if anyone wants to have a glance at how this test works, we would welcome you to come and see us. But it's a very simple test. It basically is a saliva stick under your tongue, which then is pipetted onto the biosensor, which you can see there. It then is, we have a GLCM secret solution or secret sauce. And then within 60 seconds, you get a result. That's how simple it is.
And it's, how does it compare, the test you have now compared to the lab test that they do now when they send it off in terms of
Very
accuracy?
good question. PCR is the gold standard. And rapid tests, as I said, don't work. We're finding out more and more, and we've got tons of literature to prove it, that during the rush of COVID, there was a lot of products that were moved into the market, claiming these very significant 97% sensitivities. And now through further FDA and Health Canada World Regulatory Review, they're really seeing 60%. Our product has been completely developed and tested against PCR. We want to be the next solution to PCR.
So, and you can develop this product for use with other pathogens?
Currently, we're working on E. coli and RSV, which is respiratory syncytial virus, which attacks children.
Okay. So what's the next step for your company? You raised some money, obviously you're here.
Yes, we raised some significant capital that has enabled us to develop a device of this magnitude. Our goal now is to find capital to take it further down commercialization. We have individuals strategically around the world working with us to find partners to advance this into manufacturing and into commercialization.
Are you going to license this or you're going to sell
We're
it
hoping
yourself?
for many licenses or sale of technology.
Okay, great. Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Let's hear it for Carrie Russell on the questions. We've got 9 presentations left. And I'd like to invite our good friend Jean-Luc to the stage, who's going to introduce the next companies. Let's hear it. Let's hear it for Jean-Luc.
I started that one.
Okay. No, okay, listen, Jean-Luc, let's get this thing going. Let's start off with something light here.
Sure.
I was recently in Drumheller with my family. It reminded me we got so many awesome places to visit in Alberta that I never visit. What's your favorite go-to Alberta destination?
Okay. That's tough because I also haven't visited a lot of Alberta destinations. I mean, Drumheller was when I was 8 years old, but if I have to say, I've lived here for most of my life, and I only found out about the Edmonton River Valley in 2020. I know it took a pandemic for that to happen, but I, along with everyone else, started mountain biking and trail biking, and it is honestly one of the coolest things. Edmonton actually has the largest urban park system in North America. So being a part of that going end to end, it was awesome. It was the perfect thing to get through that time.
Let's hear it for the Edmonton River Valley, right in our backyard. I love that answer. Okay, listen, on a serious note, what do you do every day at BDC, Jean-Luc?
You bet. So, I mean, BDC does a lot of things, right? We're a complimentary lender, so we don't have bank accounts, line of credits. What we do is we try and help Canadian entrepreneurs and businesses that don't fit within the typical banking realm, right? So me personally, I help tech startups and entrepreneurs and high scale companies earn some, bridge financing, some non-dilutive financing to either, get them to profitability or to join along a lot of the partners here that are investing in companies. And maybe they need a little bit more to get them to that next stage. So we love to come in as a partner, join in certain amounts like that. So what we're trying to do is help build our ecosystem here. It's tough sometimes, but we're trying to do it here at BDC. So if anyone wants to know more, please.
Well, you'll be around here, and it's great to have you with us tonight. Okay, let's introduce the next company, Jean-Luc. Take it away.
You bet. So I haven't had a chance to meet her yet, but I'm really excited to introduce Lindsay from BackSCNR. Here we go.
Let's hear it for Lindsay.
So thanks a lot for having me. So BackSCNR centers on non-invasive monitoring and evaluation for scoliosis. So I want you to imagine a young girl, 10 years old. She's a happy kid, has lots of friends at school, and is active in sports. One day, her mom notices that one of her shoulder blades sticks out farther than the other. Something looks a bit off. She doesn't look symmetric. She's never complained about her back before, but just to be sure, the family makes an appointment at the spine clinic. She gets an x-ray, and where her spine should be straight, it's actually curved, 18 degrees. She has scoliosis. All at once, she's left with so many questions. 18 degrees, what does that mean? Will it get worse? Will it hurt? Have my friends noticed? And what happens next? So she's told that up to 5% of the population has scoliosis, which is this curvature and rotation of the spine. Girls are about 8 times more likely to be affected than boys. It's called idiopathic, which means there's no known cause. For some kids, the curve doesn't progress, but for others, it continues to worsen as they grow, requiring brace treatment or even surgery. And because we don't know who will progress and who won't, everyone needs to be monitored regularly until they stop growing. So for our young girl, this means x-rays at least every 6 months. This means a burden to the family for doctor's visits and a burden to the healthcare system to administer these. And most importantly, all of that radiation presents an increased risk of cancer later in life for our young girl. So what can be done to reduce the reliance on x-rays for monitoring scoliosis? One of the most promising technologies is surface topography, which is a scan of the outer body shape that provides a 3D model of the patient. It turns out that scoliosis ultimately translates into a lack of symmetry. And comparing a model of the patient with its reflection provides the clues to this asymmetry, as well as the clues to the underlying spinal curvature. So our technology is a software platform that uses asymmetry measured from surface topography scans acquired with an iPad. And we use this for monitoring and evaluating scoliosis. So for our approach to market, we first aim to bring our tool into the clinical setting and school screening programs. This will allow us to establish important clinical partnerships. Then we add the community piece. Patients and families can scan themselves at home using their phone or iPad. They can track their own progress and understand the effective treatments such as exercise. This will increase access and reduce the burden to both families and the healthcare system. So we have partners in Brazil starting to use the technology, and we have connections in both Canada and the US. So we're focusing on these 3 markets. We've been very successful in the research space and coming from academia, and have secured competitive research funding to continue to improve the prediction algorithms. We have proven technology with the research and testing to back it up, and we've now moved into the commercial space. We've launched our iPad app and our web-based platform, and we're working with clinics, with partners to test it in clinics. So we believe that BackSCNR can provide substantial value to patients, clinicians, and the community, and we're very excited to invite you to join us along this journey. Thank you very much.
Great presentation, right at 3 minutes. Loving it. And here to ask questions is one of our investors, Dale, entrepreneur in his own right from Telewave. Take it away, Dale.
Hey, thanks, Zach. Awesome presentation, really cool technology.
Thank you.
First question I'm going to have for you is, how did you get started in this? Tell us a little bit about your story and why you're doing, this cool initiative.
Yeah, absolutely. So my husband and I are the co-founders, and we're both professors at the university. So I'm in mechanical engineering, he's in civil engineering, and we've been working on looking at scoliosis for probably 10 to 15 years, trying to use a non-invasive way to monitor and track these kids over time. Surface topography has been tried to use for many years, but it never really reached clinical adoption because of the way that people were simplifying it using kind of landmarks and 2D measures. And so when we started this looking at the asymmetry, it really kind of clicked that this can actually give us the clues to what's actually happening in the underlying spine.
And is that your intellectual property? Where did that come from? Did you guys do that, or did you license from someone? Tell us a little bit about the IP that you're using.
Yeah, so I mean, it came from the research space. So it's work that we've done with students over the last 10 years or so. It's a software technology, so we're not looking to kind of patent it, but it's more that the IP sort of comes from the know-how and the data. And as we collect more data, we can continue to improve our prediction algorithms.
And just a couple more questions, quick questions. In terms of your go-to-market strategy, you're targeting clinics kind of thing. Is that, how are you going to actually go and reach out to all these clinics across Canada? Have you sort of put together a bit of a go-to-market plan yet, or where are you in that journey for marketing today?
Yeah, so starting first with the kind of clinics that we know. So we've been working with Edmonton Scoliosis Clinic at the hospital for many years, and we've recently reached out to a kind of a private clinic outside of the Alberta Health Services space that specializes in scoliosis specific exercises. So we're getting involved there. The Brazilian partners actually found us through our research, and so we've been connected with them for the past year or so, and they're really excited about bringing it kind of into that network of clinics that they've got there.
Awesome. And one more question, sort of a geeky question. You're launching on the iPad today. Is that like a technical limitation of an Android device, or tell us a little bit about that, iPad versus Android?
Yeah, so that's a good question. So basically, any way that you can get a 3D model, you can use the analysis. The iPad is a big step forward from where we started. So we started with these big cameras that cost probably $100,000 that were stationary in the clinic room. So now that you can actually acquire a 3D model with something as small as an iPad, it just opens it up to increase access everywhere now. So if you can do that with Android, which you probably can, you could still use this. You can use the same thing.
Everybody buy an iPhone. All right, good presentation. Thanks.
Okay, thanks very much.
Next one. There we go. Perfect. Okay, really excited for this next one here. And you may have recently seen him actually on Dragon's Den. So I'm excited to introduce Dr. Sharmeen Habib here with umay. Everyone.
All right, we're gonna have some fun. I want you to try not to blink. I blinked. But most of you didn't last for more than 10 seconds. But I want you to remember the feeling of why you just blinked, that itchy, burning sensation. 200 million people feel the same way after spending just 2 hours looking at their devices. Because when we do, our blinks cut in half. Even worse, 90% of us are looking at our devices before bed and getting poor sleep. Our blinks do more than just prevent our eyes from drying out. We blink because it gives our brains a mental break, a break from the constant attention we give our devices. My name is Dr. Sharmeen Habib, and as an optometrist, digital strain is the #1 reason my patients come into the clinic. And half of those patients also struggle with poor sleep. This is how our story started. A routine eye exam where I failed to treat my patient and recognize the connection. The need for a break for both our eyes and our mind is why we built Rest, a thermal meditation experience you can feel for better sleep and eye health. Here's how it works. You select your session, place it over your eyes, and relax for 5 to 10 minutes before bed as part of your wind down routine, and first thing in the morning when you wake up as part of your wake up ritual. The heat does 2 things. It soothes your tired eyes by warming blocked oils found in your eyelids, and just like taking a warm bath, signals your body to sleep. In the morning, the cooling does the opposite to help you wake up and refresh your eyes with natural tears. Now, half of us in this room will experience burnout. And the $3 billion dry eye problem is the #1 reason for visits to the optometrist. So we're partnering with them to help address patients' screen and sleep habits with a new digital rest and recovery ritual. Because scrolling ourselves to sleep and using Band-Aids like eye drops and sleeping pills is not the answer. We need a holistic solution to help us rest and recover. We tested this and proved it with 500 work from home employees, and not only improved their eye health, but also their sleep and stress. And we saved them over $1 million in lost productivity. We've sold out of our first 1,500 units, have 45 clinics across North America ready to sell, $700K in revenue, and as of 2 weeks ago, an offer from Dragon's Den, Michelle Romano. We're offering you the same deal. We're raising $1 million to help secure inventory, expand our team, and bring digital rest to the masses. Because it is time to give your eyes and mind a rest. Thank you.
That's really cool. So I guess the moral of the story is don't watch Netflix before you go to bed. Watch Prime Video.
And use Rest afterwards.
And no, really awesome. So first question I have, I used to be a huge Dragon's Den watcher, not so much anymore, but always curious when you go on the show, you see awesome products. You know, did you see a spike in your sales after you had aired? I'm assuming you've aired already, right? Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, we did see a spike in sales. We also had a really tough time with our website because it happened to crash, and we had a whole kind of logistical issue at night of, and day after that we're still trying to manage. But yeah, we did. And one of the things that was really exciting for us to do was really get out there and share our story on such a big platform. And so it was a really nice opportunity to just see, you know, does this resonate? And it was really exciting to see that that kind of validation from the opportunity.
Oh, excellent. No, congratulations on being on Dragon's Den. Very, very cool experience, I'm sure. Yeah, so tell us a little bit about your, go-to-market strategy. You know, you talked a little about who you're targeting, just to explain a little bit more, sort of how you're going to get to the end client.
Yeah, sure. I think, the idea of going through the optometrist or the health professional was really important. One, like our story kind of started that way, but we're kind of introducing a new category where we've changed, pre-pandemic, we were always concerned about, being on screens too much and trying to kind of create this dichotomy between our screen time. And then once the pandemic hit, it became like a necessity, and it became very difficult for us to not be literate with our screen time and screen use. And so what we're trying to do is really educate people about how to find the balance and the harmony between their technology and our humanity, right? And so having that health professional is really important from the education and awareness aspect, and to, as a company, build brand awareness and trust. We do have a lot of traction from the consumer side that we all obviously resonate with, but it is important almost as a step one, step two, to kind of build that trust, build the brand equity, and then from there scale from the consumer side when we're able to be a little bit more stable.
Really good. And one more question for you, just on the IP side. Do you have patents pending? What's your plan to sort of protect yourself here for the future?
Yeah, so we do have a design patent issued and a utility one pending. So we really wanted to kind of work on an IP portfolio, and we'll expand it as we go.
All right, well, thanks for the great presentation.
Thank you.
All right. I've had the pleasure of meeting this company before. So I'd like to introduce Ramir with 48-Hour Discovery. Round of applause, please. Right on.
Thanks, everybody. I have my demo kit here. So thank you, Zach, for putting all together. What a great audience, what a great night, and amazing presentations. Let's just hear another round of applause for everyone who just presented. And this is the sound of human race coming out of the greatest pandemic in the last 100 years. So it's, as we're coming out of it, we should remember that there are lots of hidden pandemics still there, and many still await. Cancer, cardiovascular diseases, all the diseases that your loved ones are probably struggling with or will be struggling in the future. The market for new therapeutics will never close. This is like weddings and funerals, if you will. This shop will always stay open. There's always going to be the need for developing new drugs to tackle the diseases that haven't been discovered yet. So unfortunately, discovering new therapeutics is very difficult. It takes 10 years to bring new chemical entity to the market, and it takes at least 1 year to discover new chemical entity and validate it as a potential candidate that goes into the clinical trial. So what are we doing? We want to invent and have a process that will simplify discovery of new chemical entity, new leads that will seed discovery of new therapeutic candidates that go into the clinic, because every candidate that fails at a clinic is the missed opportunity to cure the new devastating diseases. So what 48-Hour Discovery is offering is screening of compounds, about 10,000 more chemical compounds than any of the competition, to be able to deliver solutions to the lead drug discovery faster. Not only we're able to increase the number of chemical compounds screened, but we do it cheaper and faster than any of the traditional methods. And we've been doing this over and over all the year, or over the years. We have proven model, proven market, clients, revenue over the past 5 years. And now it's turn for us to scale up. And I just want to demonstrate how easy this technology is and how easy it is going to be to scale up. We place all of the available molecules, about 1 billion of them, that's 1 billion was the B, in a cup. And then this is how we address a tumor targeting problem. Let's say if you have a tumor to which you want to deliver therapeutics, and you want to ask which molecules bind to this tumor. They're all here. You dip the tumor into the cup. You take it out of the cup, and the molecules that stick to it literally have stuck to it. Now I just have to analyze what molecules are here. So our technology provides DNA encoding capacity. We stick this into, and then a few minutes later, we see the structure of the molecules. Do we? We do. We see the structure of the molecules associated with the target. It's literally dip, sequence, and analyze type process. It actually takes 2 days. It doesn't take 5 minutes. The dipping is longer, washing is longer, and next generation sequencing takes a little longer time. But it is a simple and scalable process. And as you see, it has been bringing us close to $1 million revenue in the past 2 years. We're about to hit $2.5 million this year, and we're projecting to increase further with the help of the investment that I'm going to disclose. So we have a world-class management team, a perfect balance of MBAs and PhDs. We have one of the best advisors in the world, some of the people who sold billion-dollar companies in the US, million-dollar companies in Canada, leaders in drug discovery, former Merck, and now drug hunters, consultants around the world. And we're seeking a $2.5 million raise to be split about 50-50 on the materials, and then half would be going into marketing, equipment, labor, and development of the IT platform. And with that, I'll be happy to take questions.
Hey, thanks. Impressive presentation. First question is going to be around the graph you showed a second ago. Really impressive to be able to go from $1 million in sales 2021 to half times for 2022. Tell us a little bit, this is a two-part question, a little bit about your secret sauce and how you did that. And number two, tell us a little bit about your gross margins on that 2.5 million.
Gross margins. David, help me out. So we're estimating about, what is it, between 50 to 80% margin in the amount of money that we have to put in salaries and everything. And then what comes back, the secret sauce going million to 2.5. How to gently. The good thing about performing really well on next round is not performing well in round before. So we underperformed a little bit in the previous year, and we lost about half a contract. So we're actually on track to do $1.5 million. So we have been actually doubling our revenue systematically every year. So starting from about 100,000 and 2, 3, 6, and doubling comes from two factors. It's getting a bit more customers every year, and then charging about 50% more. So becoming more and more aggressive about our price. There's probably going to be a ceiling about how far we can price it. And there is a ceiling on the number of companies we can address, but we still project this growth to continue over the next couple of years.
All right, well, congratulations with your start so far, and best of luck in the competition.
Thank you.
Wow, what a great group so far. And we have one left here. So I'm excited to introduce Ali from Logic.com. Ali, come take the stage.
How's everyone doing? It's awesome. I promise I'm not here to teach you yoga. So it's a pitch. It's a startup pitch. My name is Ali, and I'm a co-founder of a startup called Logic.com. And after 12 years of legal marketing experience, we identified a gap in the market. And that's why we created Logic.com. Button works, okay. In your best moments in life and in your worst moments in life, you need a legal advice. Problem is when you try to go and contact a lawyer, multiple phone calls, multiple emails. I mean, the receptionist doesn't want to let you through to the lawyer, right? You know, it's pain in the ass. It takes 3 to 5 days to get in front of the lawyer. Our platform gives you an opportunity to go on it and schedule an appointment with a lawyer, video or a direct visit, without speaking to anyone, okay, and without taking days, emails, and calls, okay. This is our value proposition on the client side. For lawyers, we are getting them pre-booked, pre-screened appointments. So they are no longer vetting people out. I forgot about switching slides. They are not worried about pre-vetting the leads, and they're not wasting their time on basically qualifying those customers. Not only that, we go further beyond. We give a safe space for a lawyer and a client to talk in a secured platform, which is end-to-end encrypted. You can do video calling, you can do live chat, and you can send them documents. So where are we today? Today we are pre-launch. We have $25,000 in annual recurring revenue. We are going to our major launch in next 3 weeks. We have the right team. We have the MVP, pre-validated MVP, and we have an amazing traction to create $200,000 in annual recurring revenue by December 31st. And in our first calendar year, we are aiming to do $500,000, and by year 3, we are aiming to do $3.5 million in revenue. What is our goal? Our goal is to create a unicorn in the legal tech space right here in our hometown in Edmonton, Alberta. Thank you so much, guys.
A great presentation, Ali. Few questions here for you. Good slide here. So MVP, maybe not everyone knows what that is.
Minimum viable product.
Viable product. So excellent. So now you're going to launch the platform, I think, here in the next couple of weeks, you said. So really good there. So tell us a little bit about your plans for your inbound marketing plan. So I read on some of your slides about you've got a plan. Tell us a little bit about what that might entail to help drive the sales here that you're looking for your platform.
Right here. Okay, so we will put our 12 years of legal marketing experience. We are launching in Greater Toronto Market, which is GTA, which has 33,000 lawyers and over 9.5 million customers. So that's our focus market for the inbound. We will also work with industry associations and B2B groups. In the second phase, our goal is to go beyond inbound marketing. But the first stage, we are heavily relying on TikTok and the newer social media platforms, because our goal is to go after Gen X and Gen Y who are very comfortable with speaking to a lawyer over a video call.
I didn't know lawyers did TikToks. Might be a first, but what I'm really interested in as well, maybe one more question here for you. I know we're kind of running short on time, but you know, to sort of get your first client's interest, especially on a minimum viable product, is really difficult. I think you guys had 7 clients on the slide. Maybe that's grown since then, but tell us sort of how did you woo the 7 lawyers to come on this platform that really was sort of in its base form?
So the best thing we did, we worked on performance basis. We said, we will get you qualified customer, and how about you pay us then? We got all the yeses then. Yep.
That makes sense. No, great presentation, and best luck in the competition.
Thank you.
Let's hear it for Ali. Let's hear it for Dale. Let's hear it for Jean-Luc. There's only 5 presentations left. But before we get to those, Karen, can we do one of my favorite parts of the show together? Which is we have a long-standing tradition here at Startup TNT where people buy beer for their friends at the happy hour. Sometimes we crowdsource funding live right here. Sometimes people donate on the Eventbrite page. Who's donated so far tonight, Karen? I got a list here. You haven't seen it yet. Who's the first name on that list? Who's the first donor? Zach Storms. Don't tell anybody I used your credit card.
Oh, great.
So
I donated.
Jesse and Hassan down in Regina donated.
Amazing.
Can you read that name?
Nope.
David.
David Rowley?
David Rowley from Montreal donated. Thanks, David. I think we met at the Startup Conference, Startup Fest. Adrian down in Calgary. And is Sarah Short here? Sarah, are you here tonight? From McLennan Ross? Huge $500 donation to the bar tab. Thank you. Actually, we got a little perk for the bar tab donors. I think we might have to set a minimum, but $50 or more, let's say, gets you a free TNT hat like one of these.
Did you just make that up?
I didn't just make that up. That's an official policy. We just said it. Anyways, you can donate too. You want to donate? Cheers at startupteam.com, e-transfer. You're one of this guy. So you do have to pay though. All right. Cheers at startuptnt.com. And
Cheers, not
cheers.
yours.
Well, actually, they both work. You can do beers at startuptnt.com or cheers. You can just e-transfer directly. All right, listen. Let's bring up the next host. It's our good friend Chase from RBCX. Chase, how you doing? Welcome to the stage.
I'm doing.
Let's get a round of applause for Chase from RBCX. Chase, I was checking out your LinkedIn profile, as I do. And I noticed you're on the board of directors for the Canadian Blockchain Consortium, which I'll admit surprised me as a banker. I thought you guys had stayed away from that type of stuff. Tell me what's going on at the Canadian Blockchain Consortium.
Absolutely. People believe bankers can't even spell Bitcoin. I think is generally pretty fair. But really, my role with the Canadian Blockchain Consortium is more aspirational. It's more trying to help get access to banking for companies in the blockchain and crypto community space.
Long term. That's what it takes.
It's a slow burn.
Now, Chase, tell us about this brand new big announcement that I just read about a couple of weeks ago at RBCX. What happened?
Yeah, absolutely. So about a week and a half, we launched publicly that RBCX was merging with RBC Ventures. So that brings our total team up to about 500. Exciting part for me with my role is that means that we'll get to leverage the combined talents and strengths of about 400 people who have their job is to build businesses within RBC, get to leverage their support clients. These are top tier people in UX, marketing, commercialization, developing technology. So pretty exciting. These are pretty smart people. Look forward to bringing them out to Edmonton.
So as a bank, it's like a team of people supporting the clients.
Absolutely.
It's a new type of banking. Okay, Chase, we got 5 more companies left. Who's the first company that's coming up next?
Absolutely. Stop. I'm happy to welcome Dan from SketchDeck.
Let's hear it for Daniel.
Awesome. Thank you so much. And it's excellent to see everyone here. So my name is Daniel and I'm the co-founder of SketchDeck.ai. I formed this company to tackle some of the problems that I experienced and actually was responsible for creating, believe it or not, in the construction industry. This right here is the complex language of the construction industry. Beams, lines, objects, shapes. Every day, estimators are tasked with extracting information from these drawings. Even for the trained estimator, this task can be arduous, error-prone, and extremely manual. We've decided to tackle the manual material counting process of the construction project. Right now, construction bidding starts from architects. They issue blueprints to general contractors who then send those to specialty contractors. Those specialty contractors spend a ton of time counting material. We built custom machine learning models that can detect beams and columns with 90+% accuracy. In a feedback type of loop where we take the corrections made from the estimator and store those in a database to improve the accuracy of our models. We've had 80+ calls, 20% of those booked demos, and 40% of those paid deposits to be a part of our early adopter group. Right now, it takes about 30 hours to complete an average bid. 20 of those hours are spent on the manual material counting portion. With a fully built out tool, we'll be reducing that portion by 90%. We'll be starting at $18,000 per year for a fabricator that submits or completes 120 bids. This market opportunity is massive, $60 billion. We've started with focusing with structural steel erectors and fabricators. Estimators are using traditional click and drag functionality. We're combining the metadata of PDFs and machine learning to extract meaningful information. We've started from structural steel and we'll be expanding to general contractors by 2024. Andrew, this is our team that's going to do it. Andrew is building the back end, Ona is building the front end, and Niraj is building the machine learning models. Thank you so much, and I look forward to connecting after.
All right, thank you, Daniel. Here to ask questions for Daniel is Tiffany, one of the new partners at Flying Fish. Welcome, Tiffany.
Great job. So you mentioned talking to customers through some discovery calls. What were some of the themes that you heard and you implemented into your business, either changes or, encourage you to continue doing certain things?
I think it was understanding their problems and focusing on the portions of the problems that they were talking about. So a key question that I would ask customers is, what are your top 3 challenges? And this problem was on the top 2. And so we decided to focus in on tackling the manual material counting portion.
Awesome. And can you tell us, the next 6 to 12 months, what's some key milestones you're hoping to hit with your product, and what can everybody look for?
We're excited to be putting a product in our customers' hands this month. And we look forward to onboarding 16 fabricators who are on a subscriber list, and we'll be growing that as we expand.
Awesome. Well, good luck with the launch.
Thank you.
Thank you.
That's some exciting news. No, come with me. Come with me. Let's do it together. Okay. Is this microphone working? Our good friend Raj just donated $250 to the bar top. Let's hear it for Raj. Thank you, Raj. All right, take it away, Chase. Take it away, Chase.
That's some big shoes to fill. So
Hello, everyone. I'm Prateek, co-founder and CEO of Finofo. What is FX and how do we all interact with foreign exchange? As a consumer, it's a simple exchange to send money globally. As a small business, FX is a spot conversion to pay your FX bill or to convert your FX revenues. But for mid-market businesses, it's not only just spot conversions. It's more than spot conversions because now you have to start managing currency volatility. And this specific client group is our focus. Currently, CFOs and finance teams manage multiple core work processes through different tools which are non-integrated. I want you all to think of these current tech stack as different islands, and you have to manually row your boat to get to each island. Manual rowing over here represents manual data entry. And on top of that, the information flow is inhibited because each resident on this island speaks a different language. So how do existing solutions stack up over here? These are the screenshots of one of the core financial organizations managing FX exposures for companies in Canada. Speak to an expert. Contact us from 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. Give us your email address and book a consultation. As you can see, all these screenshots over here tell the story that it's the problem of manual work processes and information transfer is still remains unsolved. Financial decision makers want more visibility into their businesses. They are looking to make data-driven FX decisions. They want individualized FX solutions, and they want automation in their core work processes to reduce manual workflows. Enter Finofo. Finofo is providing a smart integrated platform to automate accounts payable and payment automation for businesses. Their businesses get access to financial planning tools to understand the risk metrics in their business and be able to execute it all straight from the platform. So no more data entry and no more problem of information transfers. So how big is the jet ski market? Sorry, I mean the FX market in Canada. I just wanted to check if you guys are still with me here. Glad to see you're still here. So collectively, FX for hedging and payments represent $12 billion of market in Canada alone. Globally, it's a $450 billion market. Just don't want to scare you with all these big numbers. There is definitely proof for that. We have 20 businesses eagerly waiting to try out our product right now, which represent $255 million in potential FX volume that can generate $1 million of ARR for Finofo. All three of us have personally experienced the pain points and are deeply aware of the core work processes of our initial client profile that we are targeting. My co-founder, my CFO co-founder, Charles here, has experience building risk models for the National Bank of Canada at the bank level. He is one of the finest financial engineers that I've ever met. My CTO co-founder, Malav, has experience building scalable web technologies for tech giants like Facebook and Pinterest and has over a decade of experience building that. We are raising a $1.25 million round, and we are halfway there and hoping to raise the other half through you all tonight. Thank you for listening.
Thank you. So you mentioned who your customer group is. Can you tell me some of the key themes that you kept hearing over and over that confirmed to you why that would be the group to start with?
Yeah, great question. Essentially, when we started thinking about idea validation, I come from this industry and I've spent multiple years recognizing these pain points. We wanted to solve the problem because we want to be ingrained in their workflows. What I mean by that is that automation of invoice recognition is such a simple problem, and there's technology available out there, but we still manually build all these payments separately. We try to understand FX component in each FX bill and then talk to our CFO or the financial decision maker. So AP teams, there's a lot of back and forth. We picked that customer segment specifically because we all have experienced these pain points personally. And we know that the solution that we have built with the validation from our customers, which are 20 on the wait list, have completely validated that this is a problem that we want to solve.
And because everybody loves a trick, how did you get 20 people on your wait list? Was it personal connections? What was the trick?
There's definitely some tricks in there, but sheer determination of cold calling, talking to a lot of people over there. Of course, leveraging the existing connections that I had in the industry. And then, of course, onboarding all these people. We intentionally stopped at 20, we could actually keep on going to add more people, but we want to definitely put the product out over there with these 20 to do a close launch. And then, of course, incorporate their feedback and improve the product that way.
Awesome. A lot of hard work.
Exactly. but really interesting and exciting at the same
Great.
time.
Well, thank you so much.
Thanks, Stephanie.
Let's go to critique later. So now we have done E.
Imagine you need to spend tens of thousands or even hundreds of thousands of dollars to build a gas pump at your property, or spend hours to fill the gas, or could not even find a single gas station within hundreds of miles. Would you still be willing to drive a combustion engine car? No, right? But that's exactly what it's like for EV drivers and potential EV drivers. The lack of EV charging infrastructure is holding back the EV adoption. So is it that hard to build a EV charging infrastructure? Yes, it is with traditional charging solutions, because for every charging station, we have to upgrade the existing electrical infrastructure like the transformers in the picture. And that is a very time-consuming, expensive and disruptive construction work. And if we keep doing this, how is it possible for us to build a charging network to support EV adoption? My name is Zhongyi Kwang, and I'm the founder and CEO of eGrid. And we have solved this problem with our smart charging solution. And we offer a smart charger software platform and the first of its kind fast charger. And with our solution, we can deploy any type of EV chargers at any location without infrastructure upgrades. And this way, we can build a massive charging network with minimum cost, deployment time, and effort. And we have done thorough competitive analysis, and we're confident to say that We are the only one that can achieve this. And beyond that, we also adopt a charge as a service business model with minimum or even no upfront cost for our customers. And we charge a fixed subscription fee or share the revenue from the charging service so that we can have a long-term revenue generation beyond 10 years. And as you know, EV charging is the future of transportation, and the market is massive and is still growing. And our focus right now is commercial EV charging, where multiple EV chargers are usually installed at the same location, like hotels, universities. And we are getting traction with our target customers, and we're already on track to hit our target in 2025. And we are closing deals right now with very high-profile customers. So we are the perfect team because we have deep domain knowledge in EV charging technology, product, and market, and we will deliver. And we're now raising a $1 million round to grow revenue and accelerate our product development for fast charger. So if you're interested in joining us, building a massive charging network in North America, let me know. Thank you.
Great, thanks so much. Looking at your deck in advance, I had no idea the expense that was required to go into creating that network. So I think what you're creating is really amazing. So can you tell us a little bit more around the pilots that you are running, kind of some of the things that you've learned and that you're applying into your business to move it forward?
Yeah, sure. So we have a pilot project with UFA right now, and we're installing 20 chargers on campus. It will be the largest charging station in, I think, in Western Canada, but it definitely is largest in Alberta. And it's going pretty well. So we have actually had a lot of learnings from this project, because including the installation process, everything. And we were able to optimize the process from the learnings. And now we're actually getting commercial deals with hotels in Western Canada, including BC, using that learning, that we can reduce our upfront cost as well.
Awesome. Can you talk a little bit about your competitors? Are there big players in there? Are they similar, like startups and scale ups like yourself? Who are you up against?
Yeah, so they're definitely large companies, one or two, one public company, but we call them the legacy charger vendors, because their chargers are so expensive. Not just the charger expensive, they have to spend a lot of money. Customers have to spend a lot of monies to install those transformers. And one of our customers actually told us that they have to spend $750K for just a single station. And with our solution, we can help them reduce that cost by 70%.
Amazing. Well, good. Best of luck. Thanks so much.
Thank you.
So Zach gave me the opportunity to keep the good times rolling and announce 2 more beer sponsors. So Dale Schwab donated $100 to the beer tab, and Howard Suisa donated $50 to the beer tab. So next up, we have Gino with Resource Energy.
Thank you. Hello. Hello, I'm Gino from Resource, and we're working on what we believe is the next evolution of the carbon offset. Yeah, so to start off, does anybody here know how you can reduce emissions? Like personally, what can you do to reduce emissions? Drive less? Bike more. Grow trees. Plant trees. Yes, plant trees. Planting trees is one of the most popular ways of reducing emissions, but there's a problem with it. It's because you're planting trees, each tree is different, so they're hard to measure. So they're hard to quantify the emissions reductions from these trees, and it's hard to standardize, which means it's easy to fake. And that's why, if you're at all familiar with the carbon market, there are a lot of scams out there. But what we're doing different, and how we're going to fix this problem, is instead of using trees, we're going to use rooftop solar on the homes of people like yourself, or at place where you work. Any building really can have rooftop solar on it. And what we do is we take the renewable energy data from those rooftop solar systems. Basically, these are records of the energy you've produced over a certain period of time. And just like what John Murphy from BioStream was saying earlier, the way you monetize data is, these records are not of interest to you and me, but they are of interest to companies like Shell that have yearly emissions reductions targets. So we take this data and then we monetize it by turning it into carbon offsets, selling it to Shell, and then returning the money back to the people who own the solar. And this makes us, this makes us different because we both meet the criteria for high grade quality offsets, and we also have community-based co-benefits, and we extend into more offset impacts in the UN SDG goals. And this is something that does not exist currently in the offset market. Like, we are the first, if not in Alberta, then globally, I hope. And this is our potential market, going off of the number of small solar systems in Alberta. And by 2030, we're seeing an opportunity of 71 million just in Alberta alone, assuming that the number of small solar systems does not go up in the next 8 years, which is impossible. It's going to go up, right? Because people are getting solar every day. And what we're doing right now is we're launching a solar pilot offset project. So on the left, that's basically the people with solar and people who install solar that we're working with. Of note here is Naiad Energy. They do renewable energy projects for indigenous communities. And we're doing a project with the United Church of Canada where they're retrofitting 300 churches in Alberta, and we're going to help them create offsets. And on the right side are the people who are interested in buying these offsets from these solar panels. So we're doing that. And, oh, the slides are backwards. This is our team, wonderful team. Of note here is Gordon Howell. If you know Gordon Howell, he's the first person in Western Canada to ever have rooftop solar on a building, which is his house. He did it in like 95, I think. And yeah, this slide is outdated. We're going to launch our pilot. So we're going to do that. And if you guys are interested in participating in the pilot with us, if you have solar or you're interested in getting solar, we can help you finance that by generating carbon offsets with your solar and making you money. So that's it. Thank you.
Great. Can you start by telling us, how did you come up with this idea? What drew you to it? Why start this company?
Good question. So I'll be honest with you, it was a bunch of Googling, like a lot of Google. We were looking for opportunities in what's the word, transactive energy. Because we believe a big part of the future is going to be renewable energy and integrating renewable energy with our day-to-day lives. And then we found out about carbon offsets, and we saw an opportunity. There are lots of people out there saying that carbon offsets are going to explode and become a big thing, but we wanted to take that and also not just make it about emissions reductions, but really a carbon offset should not just fix pollution, but should also fix everything else around that. So the communities, the types of people these offsets benefit, not just big companies trying to, reduce emissions, but also the communities that are affected by these emissions. Yeah.
Awesome. So you mentioned the slide was out of date, but when I saw it in advance, I was curious, what is 141 kWs? What does that mean to the average person? Does that mean number of panels, what does that mean for the newbies here, including myself?
Yeah, you can, so kW is kilowatts and 141 is kilowatt sort of capacity. Essentially it's the number of panels, but measured by capacity of the panels, like how much power they can generate. That was the metric we were going by, but we're launching the solar now, so we're good with that. So yeah, we're basically what we're looking for now is just people who want to get offset revenue for their solar to hop onto the pilot with us if you're interested, or if you just want to chat, you can use a QR code and we can talk about offsets and all that. You're
awesome. Thanks so much.
Thank you.
Okay, listen, I'm going to hold us up for just a moment before we do our last presentation. First of all, I'd like to both thank Rob Davey, doing the technology in the back, one of our investors doing the AV. Also, I'd like to apologize to Rob Davey. He told me that if I didn't put the mics in the mic stands, we would lose one. And Rob, I don't know where the third microphone went. Rob has a third microphone. Okay. I'd also like to give a huge thank you to Jocelyn, our event planner. Let's hear it for Jocelyn, making this happen. And can we hear it one more time for the DriveWise team? A bunch of them are still here. This is an amazing location. Thank you so much for having us tonight, guys. And I would actually like to invite Io. Io, are you here? You were just standing here a moment ago. I might have lost you. Oh, here he is. Io, please join us. Io from Alberta Innovates. One of our longtime supporters here at Startup TNT is Alberta Innovates. And Io has been helping us for the last few months. You're now the Director of Capital Access. Tell us for a second what's going on at Alberta Innovates and the capital access front.
Thank you, Zach. I think I wake up every morning, pumped to go to work. And that's because I work with incredible people. And I just want to give it up to Carla over there. She's an incredible colleague of mine from Alberta Innovates.
She's being a little shy, but she's pretty awesome.
So what do I do? It's an interesting portfolio, but in a nutshell, my work is to elevate the investment readiness of startups, entrepreneurs that are looking for private capital. So we support them at the very early stage with non-dilutive funding. And part of my portfolio is also to increase the local pool of private capital in the province and to propel this amazing startups to investors or investments that fit, just like we've seen tonight with incredible pitches we've seen from amazing startups.
Thank you, Io. Also, just so you guys know, Startup TNT was funded through this program called Ecosystem Development, which I think is a brilliant program. I tell people about it all the time. Io's been part of it for a while now. Tell us what that program is, because I think there might be people in the audience that should be applying for some of that funding.
Yes, we should have more money for everybody. So in a nutshell, the Ecosystem Development Program was developed to support ecosystem partners, just like Startup TNT, wonderful people doing amazing work in the ecosystem. The program is to support these partners by identifying gaps in the ecosystem and working alongside, supporting them, and collaborating to address those gaps.
All right, thank you, Io. I think we're done with the public announcements. Let's get to the last presentation. I will just say someone, a very nice person, just gave us this beautiful $50 donation in cash. Thank you, Shay Barker. Appreciate it. Let's hear it for Shay. And I'm going to go back to Chase. Chase, who's our last presenter?
Absolutely. So the last presenter that we have joining us today is Brett from Story City. It is yours, Brett.
Hi, I'm Brett. I'm the CTO of Story City and a co-founder. So why go for a boring walk when you could be a pirate looking for pirate treasure or survive a zombie apocalypse? At Story City, you get to be the hero and you get to choose your adventure. Web 3.0 is here, and everyone in this audience has the opportunity to shape the content we see now more than ever before. 50 million people consider themselves creators, and creation is exploding. 30,000 hours of content is uploaded on YouTube per hour. 65 million podcast episodes have been created, and almost 3,000 books are released every day. But most of these media formats are still one-sided. Audiences are demanding to interact not only with creators, but the stories themselves. Gaming has really leveraged this demand for interaction, from esports to Twitch streaming to Pokemon Go, yet no one is giving other media audiences the interaction they crave. This is why we built Story City, a no-code platform that allows anyone to create and sell interactive stories that only open in the right location. We're empowering the creators in your city, in every city, to do this. It's time for a platform that not only houses locative adventures, games, or historic walking tours, but also an American ballet performance to the streets of Manhattan, or a Harry Potter Choose Your Adventure in London. Founded in Australia, We had excellent early traction with over 30 different projects, mostly focused on the municipal market, but also showcasing 80 individual creators over that time of early testing. Our CEO shifted the company to Canada and joining Canadian co-founders, me, rebuilt the system for ease of use and automated payments based on user feedback and trends we see in the market. With the new platform complete, we are now ready to start onboarding creators and stories at this compelling market tipping point post-pandemic. We're a two-sided marketplace, but what makes us really unique is that we don't need to bring both sides of the market. We ask our creators to place their markers and adverts, and then they share their experiences. We court the creators and they bring the audience, and so the effect spreads. Creators decide what to charge and we take a percentage of sales. There's opportunity to add advertisement as an additional source of revenue going forward and lucrative corporate subscription tiers that can be added as we grow our audience, much like Twitter is considering now. We already have multiple stories up in our home base of Edmonton with 12 new stories onboarded to the platform this summer. We'll be launching in stories in Calgary and Toronto next spring and 10 more cities by the fall. We're funding now to bring more users onto the platform, to routinize sales and onboarding process, to grow our reach building features, as well as social media reach, accessing creators where they live and play. This funding round will take us across Canada and prepare us for penetration of the United States. It's time for this storytelling format and technology to be accessible to your average creator and not just those who can code or with large production budgets. The world is full of adventures. We hope you join ours.
Thank you. Maybe you could start by telling us right now, how long does it take to kind of develop and get a story up? And then maybe where's the aspiration in terms of time in the future that you'd like it to take for creators?
So stories can be extremely varied. Sometimes we have tours where it's a couple stops and you just sort of, you have some information, you put them through. And in that case, it could be easy as, pasting information you already had and then just clicking the location and saying publish. And then we have some really cool stories that are much more branching. There's an awesome one in Edmonton called Tips from Your Barista, which is a magical coffee shop, takes over all the coffee shops on White Avenue. And as you visit each one, you have to listen to what the magical Fey barista, her advice for surviving, and then like some sort of like monster or creature happens, and you make your choices in each location. And then as you go, you walk onto the different places. And so that one is a little more extensive, right? Like finding the right art for that, and finding all the different branching choices and the results of those can be a little more time consuming and take like maybe 60 hours kind of thing of full work. But a lot of experiences can be done in like an hour to 5 hours. So yeah, lots of possibilities.
Awesome. Now I feel like the one you were describing sounded awesome.
It is.
So how do you, is there a way that you're going to make sure that they're quality stories going up and not like, oh, that one's like fine, but it wasn't that good?
Yeah, so we review all the stories. So they all go through a publishing process where they're reviewed by us. Emily and I both have experience editing and writing. So we sort of help authors with those making sure everything's kind of up to snuff and making sure everything's good to go, basically.
Awesome. And so you mentioned lots of stuff on the product. What's one of the changes or additions that you've made that you're kind of most proud of?
Right. So I think the one we're looking forward to is getting sort of an ad package together for the creators themselves. With the ones that launched in Edmonton first here, we helped them by like marketing on our social media and that sort of thing. But what we envision, and I think will be like the explosion of the app, is essentially having, you're ready to publish your story. Okay, here's a couple templates for this social media and this sort of thing. And we have this like preset Facebook ad set that you can put up here. And so I think that's going to be like the killer next part that we add to it.
Awesome. Well, I look forward to trying it. And thank you for being our last presenter. It's hard to be first and last. So thank you.
Thanks.
All right, let's hear it for Tiffany. Thank you, Brett. Listen, that was 21 pitches. I just want to remind people, finale November 17th, top 5 will be presenting, and we'll be seeing real deals unfold before our very eyes. We got 30 investors here in Edmonton. We've got 97 investors across the entire prairies. We'll see a lot of deals going down November 17th. And let's hear it for all the entrepreneurs tonight. 21 entrepreneurs. One final round of applause. Huge thanks to all the co-hosts. Huge thanks to all the Q&A facilitators. And can we hear from the investors too? It takes a lot of stamina to come up here, do this on stage, and then participate for 8 weeks in this process. Let's hear from the investors. Guys, as far as I know, pizza has already arrived, or it's about to arrive. Pizza's here. Stick around. There's a keg. There's beer. We're going to be here for a while. Hang out, have some fun. Thanks, everybody.